All right, guys, welcome to your segment on Facebook. All right, you guys, the wonderful world of Facebook. It's very interesting because had you asked me, 8 to 10 years ago when I was using Facebook, if I ever thought I would be running a business geared around Facebook, I would have laughed at you because I really thought Facebook was a joke in the beginning, and come to find out it's, the most rapidly growing, biggest social media explosion of all time. We all remember MySpace, the precursor to Facebook. And if you had ever thought about running a business on MySpace, you would have gotten laughed off of there. So, from a high level, what I want you guys to understand, right? So we have our personal profile. We all know that. Guys, this is going to be a real 101 in case you're brand new to these terms. I want you guys to just make note of a couple of key terms. This is what is known as your banner or your cover photo. Okay, you can choose it to be anything you want. You need to always look and check what the most recent size guidelines are for Facebook because they change it all the time. Because when you put a badly sized photo on there, it looks awful. This is what's known as your profile picture. Okay, so no matter if you have a personal page or a business page, personal profile or business page, you're going to have a banner photo and a profile photo. Okay, so that's first and foremost. Now, something that you want to keep in mind is that depending on what's right for you, and I've assigned you guys to start to consider this over this portion of the content, because I was talking about how there's a lot of different ways for you to use Facebook beyond your personal profile, right? Almost any business on the planet these days at least has a Facebook page, no matter if they have a physical location or if they are an online brand. Pretty much anything at least has a Facebook page. Doesn't matter if you're selling products or you're selling services. Facebook is a direct link to your potential clients. Okay, so even if you do not like to use Facebook for personal reasons, I highly suggest taking into consideration switching up your mindset and leveraging it for your business's purposes, for your branding purposes, and for getting your content out there. First of all, the massive reach, right? We have 1.5 billion people active on Facebook daily, 500 million people on Instagram. So Instagram is still very much a growing platform, and we're going to talk about that in a separate section. So when you add that together with the ability to really hone in on your audience selection in a lot of different ways, this is where you can really nail it when it comes to getting your content in front of the people that need it. Okay, so very quickly, Facebook 101, you guys. There's a ton of confusion out there about, do I need a Facebook profile? Do I need a Facebook page? Do I need a Facebook group? What is a page? Oh my God, right? We complicate everything. So high level, your profile is your personal profile. Now, it is up to you whether you want to keep that private or public. Chris and I have our Facebook profiles public. Because of the nature of Hug Your Chaos, we don't share anything on Facebook that we don't want out there. So, we're not using it as a platform for our intimate, family photos or photos of our children or anything like that. We use our personal profiles as tools for our business as well, right? We use them as a way to really connect with people in a little more intimate way than we can on the page. And so we keep our profiles public. But again, that's 100% up to you. If you want to keep a very clear divide between your personal profile and your business page and your group, that's okay. You have every right to do that. And there really is no sort of wrong or right way to approach this. It really just depends on you and how comfortable you are and what you're trying to do. One thing you really want to keep in mind, though, is that you do need congruency, because even if you set your profile to private, someone can still search you and they're going to see things like your banner photo and your profile photo. So if you're selling a service that's like, hey, I'm all about, yoga and nonviolence and love and light, and then they go to your profile picture and it has, I don't know, you with, hunting animals or like a swastika, that's going to be a big red flag for people when they start connecting you to your business. So you really want to have congruency. Now, again, what that means is up to you. And this is something that we can talk more about in the sessions if you're really not sure where to go with this. Again, it's what you're comfortable with. So like I said, so everything that Chris and I post is public, and you can see that here. If I ever did post something and I wanted to change it to private, I can do that here. Okay, and that's just, what we choose to do. And things like, right, where you can put in all your history, again, congruency, right? So you want to, because people do see this stuff and people do sort of compare, well, this is what, are you being authentic over here in your business and what you're selling in your business? And then they look at your personal profile. If all of this stuff is all contradictory, it's going to make people second guess you as the choice person to do their services. So you can just think of your Facebook profile as your personal page that gives a quick summary about you. It has information about you, where you went to school, where you work, who you're married to, your favorite books, your favorite shows, who you're following. And it's the place where you can post your status updates. Now that can be anything from photos to videos to something you read to a rant to whatever. And I always just, general rule of thumb, right? If I don't want the public to know it, I don't put it on Facebook. I'm not one of those people, and this is just something I operate by, that, oh, I put it on Facebook, but it was a private post and nobody should have seen it. And how did it get out there? And then I'm all, offended when people are saying something about something that I said. I like to stand by anything that comes out of our mouth, and, Chris is the same way. So again, if we don't want it out there in full public knowledge, we don't put it on social media. And there's some tips in your content about ways you can really kind of personalize your personal profile to stand out. Have a snappy, fun bio. Use a fun cover photo that embodies whatever it is you are doing in your business. That's a simple way to create some congruency. If you look miserable in your cover photo, but you're over here trying to have a coaching page and selling, coaching and empowerment, why do I want to hire you if your profile looks miserable, or if your posts are all full of, negativity? So I'm not saying be fake, but be real. And yeah, so most of you guys probably have a personal profile and you know what you're doing with that. So I'm not going to harp on too long about this. But the more you can add to your Facebook profile, the more others can feel like they have a sense of who you are. It is their place for seeing, well, who is this person? Do I want to friend them? Do I want to follow them? Am I interested in what they're saying, right? The first thing I do is when I see someone that posts something or does a live and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of like what they're talking about here, I go and I look at their profile because I'm like, well, what else are they all about, right? So that's when they come and they come over here and they're like, oh, what's she all about? Okay, there's some other pages she manages. Here's where she worked, right? They might look at some of my photos and be like, wow, okay, it looks like she's living what she's preaching. Cool. And there's all kinds of different ways. They can see if I interact with the people that comment on my stuff, tons of different stuff to do, right? So again, that's all up to you and what you choose to do. So some of the things for you guys to consider about your profile, right? If you are seeking to brand yourself alongside your new passion-based business, you may want to open your profile to the public. Up to you. And again, the consistency. And then one other thing is, as your business grows and you start putting out content that rocks people's worlds and you start, writing and being vulnerable and people respond to that, you may get friend requests from people that stumbled across one of your blogs and they're like, wow, I, vibe with this person. And a lot of times people out of the blue will send a little message, hey, I read this blog of yours and that's why I'm friending you. You know, and that's up to you whether or not you want to choose to accept those friend requests or not. I'm always really touched and inspired when people read my writing and have the courage to reach out and take that risk and say, hey, I'd really like to be your friend on here. Cool, you know, come on, right? So then moving on to a Facebook page. A Facebook page is similar to a Facebook profile, okay? So for instance, most of you guys will probably know that Chris and I have, of course it's going to be slow. We have our Facebook page under the name Hug Your Chaos Coaching. Get real. So this is our official business page, right? So something you kind of always want to make sure, you want to make sure that when someone lands on your business page, they understand what they are getting. You want, if you have a logo, when you get a logo, you want to use your logo because that is part of your branding. You know, your banner image can go a few different ways. Now you'll notice it's different, right? You'll notice that your profile photo is up here where your banner photo is over here, and that's how it goes when you're on pages. So when you create a page, you can select, are you a business or a brand? Are you a community or public figure? Right? And you do that, you say, okay, I'm you know, authors, celebrities, those are the people that'll do public figures. Business or brand, okay, I am such and such, right? And then you add a category, okay, coaching, empowerment. And then it's gonna walk you through all the steps. You guys, it's really quite simple and it's really easily laid out. It's gonna prompt you every step of the way of what you wanna do to create your page. Now, your page can be as simple or as complex as you want it. You have an option to add buttons. Chris and I have a page because we want to lead people to the group, because our Facebook group is where we really get people in and work with them more intensively, and we start doing some of our empowerment stuff. So if you think of the Facebook page as like the front windows of the shop, what do you want to do when somebody's window shopping? You want to bring them into your store. So that can then be your Facebook group. Okay. Now, if you're kind of more of a product-based business, it can go either way. If your products have to do with something like yoga or meditation or healing or essential oils or something that there is enough information around that maybe you're going to be teaching on, hell yeah, start a group. Everybody loves Facebook groups because when you go to the Facebook group, it is all geared towards your content. Right? You have control of that group. If someone joins your group, that's a sign that they are interested in what it is you're offering, right? People that are not interested in yoga don't go and join Namaste, right? So, and think about yourself for the groups that you're in, if you're in any. And then of course in here, you always, you know, you want to have a nice description. You want people to know, right? You want people to know what am I getting into in this group, right? And it's straight up. We lay out some rules. We lay out what we're doing here because we want, and then when people join the group, we welcome them in and ask them to please read the rules so that they know what the purpose of this group is. You know, it's not here for dating. Don't harass people. Bullying will not be tolerated. Whatever rules you want to set for your group. Okay, guys, so you have your personal profile, your business page, and then your group. So you will be creating a page. We're going to have you do that in the near future. This is just your intros again. And then start thinking about whether or not you're going to want to have a group, right? Because groups are really designed for the people with common interests and opinions to connect in a smaller forum, right? You don't have to scroll through a bunch of crap to get to the topic in the group. And if it's your group, you know, you can be leading the conversation. This is your chance to establish yourself as an expert and someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to your passion-based business. So for Chris and I, we have Hug Your Chaos group. We have the Chakra Chaos group. He has an Herbal Alchemy group. He has a men's group, right? So we have these different groups that deal with different areas of, you know, conversation. Right? The chakras are a passion of mine that maybe not everybody in the Hug Your Chaos coaching group is interested in. So since it's such a niche, I thought I would put it over here and have my own group where I can really dedicate the conversations to strictly around chakra and chakra healing and how to do that. And then, of course, it's the perfect place for you to then advertise your services or your products that have to do with what you offer. And because you're establishing trust by giving the people in your group value, these are going to be one of your warmest pools of possible clients. And it's also really awesome to have a community or a tribe that is interested and passionate about what you do. It becomes very much like a family, right? So overall, a Facebook group is a place for anyone with strong interests and opinions to connect with similar individuals. Like a group, anyone is allowed to make a Facebook page. Anybody can make a page, anybody can make a group. Things that you want to discuss and have like a fan culture around, don't really have those conversations on pages. That's going to be really for the group. Facebook pages are seen as a strong vehicle for getting out a marketing message rather than a place to start discussion and share interests and opinions. Absolutely. If you can start steering conversation on your Facebook page, that's brilliant. You can share quotes, you can share things about what you offer, you can share things that will get people thinking and get people on board with what it is you do. That's wonderful. But a lot of your engagement is definitely going to be for the group. So what we suggest is this, guys, bare minimum Facebook profile. If you want to do all of your branding and promotion on your Facebook profile, feel free, but you cannot advertise on a Facebook profile. So Facebook page, we say yes. This is like your ad in the yellow pages. It's your chance to reach any of the millions of Facebook users with targeted advertising, which is something we're going to introduce later on. And it's a chance to engage, teach, and promote your brand. And if someone likes your page, it's a safe assumption to believe that they're in line with your target audience. So it starts helping you see, who's engaging with my posts, who likes this, who am I talking to, who is responding to me. And then the Facebook group, I say yes. It's the tricky part because you do want your group to be fun, engaging place that people want to be a part of. So you need to make it specific to your passion. Now, even if, like I said before, if your brand is a product-based business, you can still have a group, right? Ask yourself, what is something that my ideal client is passionate about that is related to my product? So like I suggested in your content, if you're creating natural holistic beauty products, maybe your group is centered around holistic living or wellness. And that's where you can become the thought leader and the person sharing that, right? So in our group, like I said, we have our description, we have a little video on top welcoming who the hell we are. And then, there's a few short rules. We're careful about what people share because we want to hold it to be a sacred space. And then the posts and we engage and we have group lives and we have stuff that we post that's just for our group and we have activities we do with them. And there's a lot of different ways, right? When you're in your group, you have a chance to get a lot of insights. You can see, who your active members are. You can do, fun prizes and giveaways. You can see your group activity. There's a lot of ways to track what's going on in your group and as well as your page. And those analytics are not something you have access to in your personal profile. So sure, you can go to a post on your personal profile and be like, oh, who liked my post? But when you have a page in a group, you can start to really get a clear idea of the demographics of this. Okay, so I hope this was a good intro for you guys. And I highly suggest if you have any questions at all, please post them here. You can post them in the comments. You can post them in the group. And I will see you guys in the next segment.